which it's in the same spot as if you were doing it in portrait style. And then you can see when you close this, this is how it will look. So it'll have that same designer paper it has down here, up here on the flap of the Fun Fold card. And then you can add a piece of designer paper down here, which is what I did, or you can just leave that blank and use it if you want to write a message. So otherwise, these pieces, again, are just 2 by 5 1/4 inches. So 2 by 5 1/4, 2 by 5 1/4, and 2 by 5 1/4. So now we're ready to create our focal point for the card. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, so to create the focal point, I'm using this very large image from the Countryside Corners stamp set. And I'm just going to ink it up with some boho blue. And I'm stamping it on, this is a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 inch piece of white cardstock. All right, so that's what it looks like. And then the cool thing is there's a bunch of dies in this particular set, which you can use to cut out the different pieces. So for example, for the card that I'm creating, I want this section right here with the 3 lines, the 3 sets of lines, dotted lines. That's the part that I want, you know, for my card front here. But you can, you know, you can use any of these and cut all of these little sections out and use them in your card making. So every single one of the dies fits onto this image and then cuts out those little designs in here. So it's pretty fun. But we're just going to use this die and we're going to cut out that section. All right, so here is what we have that we will be using for our card front. So it kind of reminds me of a rug, doesn't it? It kind of looks like a little rug. But we're going to be covering it up. So we're going to be covering it up with this blue piece. And this blue piece is going to get adhered right in the center of that stamp design. So why don't we go ahead and do that, and I will show you how this works. We're going to lay our little rug, I guess we'll call it a little rug. We're going to lay that in the center of the card here. So I think we're going to go right about there. I like to just eyeball things. You can measure it if you want to, but I think that looks pretty good. So we're going to add some glue right here. And we're going to push this down onto our image. I know I'm covering up all this pretty design on here, but it'll be worth it. I promise. And then we're going to take this blue piece, and I just cut this from some boho blue. Now let's add a little bit more glue on here. And we're going to put this over the top of this design, over this flap. And we're going to put it right in the middle. And so it will cover up all that stamping underneath, and it will also serve to provide a front and a back for your little flap here. So I'll show you that in just a minute. We'll get this adhered. All right, so there's the back, and then there's the front. And now you can go ahead and add your little greeting or whatever you're going to add. So I have a smaller shape, one of the layering shapes, and I'm just going to use a sentiment from the Lasting Joy stamp set, and we're just going to stamp that right in the center. Then this time I decided to add a little flower here. So let's do this. We'll add that little flower right about there, and that's just boho blue. And then I took a little Night of Navy and I added the leaves to this flower right on each side. Okay, so now we're ready to add our greeting. I just popped it up with some dimensionals, and we can put it right on this little flap. And then you have your Fun Fold card. So it's just super simple, and just really pretty. I love this paper. Okay, so there you go. Now you have two different ways you can use this fun fold flap card design in your card making. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.